Hoshana Rabbah. Such an elusive Yom Tov to define. It's like the Yamim Nogarim, they don't end. We start off with Elul, and then Rosh Hashanah, and then after Rosh Hashanah, it's Aseret Mei Tshuva, and then Yom Kippur. And every time we're told that you have to get it done now. It's Rosh Hashanah, it's the first day, the second day, it's Shachrit, do it during Musaf in the Amidah. And if that doesn't work, then it's not nechtam, there's no chatima, it's not signed until Yom Kippur. And then we find out that even after Yom Kippur, there's a whole nother day. There's Hoshana Rabbah. One last chance. What are these different chances? What is Hoshana Rabbah? What are the Hoshanot? So much to talk about. At 2 o'clock in the morning, you could give a shiur a little bit less formal. So, you guys, we all need to stay up. So if you have something to say, you throw it at me, we'll make it work together. Hashem created the world. We're going to read about it in a week. Less than a week, a few days. Shabbat, we're going to read all about the Briat Olam. And every single day of the Bria, Hashem creates another element of the world, and in that element, afterwards he says, Vayar Hashem Kitov. Hashem saw that that thing was good. Every day, Vayar Hashem Kitov. Except one day. There's one day that doesn't say Kitov. You know which day? Which day doesn't say Kitov? Anybody? Day 2 does not say Kitov. Hashem creates on day 1 Or, and it was Tov, and fish it was good, and trees are good, and the planets are good. Day 2 doesn't say Kitov. Why? Because day 2 was not good. What did Hashem create on day 2? What does the Pasuk say? The Pasuk says on day 2 he created a rakia. Lahavdil bein mayim lamoyim. On day 2, God created a firmament. Something that separated between the water. Everything was water. And now he created this thing that separates between the upper waters and the lower waters. And instead of having mayim, now we have 2 things. Something called mayim and shamayim. Shamayim means heaven and mayim is water. And the rakia separates. So what happens is day 2 is the first time in the history of the world where there's division. Where the world is divided. And because it's the source of division, it's not good. Because every single evil in the world is one thing. Is division. Hashem is one thing, Hashem is echad. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem echad. Hashem is one. Hashem is unity itself. So what is the absence of God? What is the hiddenness of God? If someone is intelligent, so then the hiddenness of intelligence is foolishness. If you're strong, the hiddenness of strength is weakness. If you're echad, what is the hiddenness of echad? What is the absence of echad? Duality, multiplicity, fragmentation, disconnection. So all the evils in the world, every single thing that you're aware of that is not good, it's all the same. They're all just unique versions of division. Where things are disordered and they're not echad. Emotional pains are what are emotional pains? Being left out, being hated, being in a fight, being alone, separated. It's all not echad. And all pleasure, emotional, is love and friendship and togetherness. Togetherness. Intellectual unity. Knowledge, understanding, when everything fits. Intellectual pain, evil, is when things aren't fair, where things aren't in order, where there are gaps in reasoning, where things are divided and don't fit and don't make sense. Poverty and sickness and wars, every single negative thing in the world is where everything is not working together properly. And the picture of the world as we want it is where everything's achad, a harmonized world, where the entire world is a symphony. So therefore Hashem creates a rakia, and it doesn't say it's good. Because that's not good. So therefore, till today, the symbol in the world of evil is the rakia. And day 2 is the source of division. So therefore we know, everyone knows this idea that Geshem, rain, is a sign, a siman bracha. Why is rain a sign of blessing? The reason why rain is a sign of blessing is because rain is the last remaining connection that we have of a connection between the upper waters and the lower waters. If the rakia symbolizes all division, so rain symbolizes the hope for unity. The idea that it's not totally divided. The heavens and the earth, the two waters, they still kiss. The rains come from heaven and they touch the earth. There is still an echad. The echad is not gone forever. The last remaining experience of the achdut is rain. And therefore rain is a sign of bracha. So I'm painting for you, to start, a very simple metaphorical picture of the world. The world is two things. The world is a world where everything is hidden. The unity is hidden. And therefore we have division. It's a world of division, but there's hope. Because there's still unity hidden in it. And rain is the symbol of the unity, and the rakia, that separates the heavens and the waters, that is the evil. A simple world, a world of division and unity. And this is why, when we go through the Torah, we'll start to see so many things that pick up on this theme. We begin our experience as Am Yisrael in Mitzrayim. The Torah describes Mitzrayim in a very unique way. We leave Mitzrayim, we're about to go into the land of Israel, to Eretz Yisrael, and Hashem tells us that Eretz Yisrael is not like Eretz Mitzrayim. Why is it not like Mitzrayim? Lo ke'eretz Mitzrayim hi, asher hishkiso kegan hayerek, that you water your plants like a garden. In Mitzrayim, how do they get their water? They dig irrigation ditches from the Nile, and the Nile overflows into the ditches, and from that the entire country is fertilized. The valley next to the Nile. Or they take water from the Nile and they pour it on their crops. But Eretz Yisrael doesn't have that. On Eretz Yisrael, mitar hashamayim, we depend on the waters of heaven. The Torah tells us the difference between Mitzrayim and Eretz Yisrael is that Eretz Yisrael depends on rain. And you have to sit there begging HaKadosh Baruch Hu for rain. And that's Eretz Yisrael. Mitzrayim doesn't need the rain. Mitzrayim lives with the lower waters. And this is our picture of why Mitzrayim is the source of all the tumah and all that's evil. It's a world of division. Hashem created, Hashem's echad, the world is divided, it's lo tov, and Mitzrayim figured out how? They figured out how to live with a world of division. They get along very fine without davening for rain. They don't need the rain. They're not aspiring for a world of unity. We all want echad. We want the oneness. We want Hashem to reconnect the Shemayim and the Eretz, to bring us the rain that will reconnect. But Mitzrayim doesn't need that. They live very well with their world of division. That works for them. Tefillah for Geshem is the hallmark of Klal Yisrael. And the idea that we don't need to be mispalil, that we can live with this connection, that's Mitzrayim. So we understand why Mitzrayim is cementing the idea of division. They don't have that need. A regular farmer can't deny God. You live, you do your whole job. You plant, you dig, you fertilize, you dig, you prune. You do everything you need to do. You remove the rocks, you plow, you do everything. But nothing's going to happen if it doesn't rain. And the farmer is helpless. He has to sit there and do nothing but hope for rain. And if the rain doesn't come, he suffers. And if the rain comes, he's joyous. And the whole experience of the farmer is to, once he does his thing, it's not done. Because he doesn't control everything. There's rain. But not in Egypt. Egypt doesn't need rain. Egypt figured out how to live just fine without the rain. They do it on their own. Kochi va'otzem yadi. No tefillah. That's a Mitzrayim. Which brings me to Hoshana Rabbah. You're supposed to save a punchline for the end. I want to start with it and then we'll explain it. What's the punchline? What are Hoshanot? The Arava. What does the Torah call the Arava? You know what the pasuk is in the Torah for Arava? What's it called? Arvei Nachal, water willows. The Torah calls the Arava a water willow. Why is it called Arvei Nachal? Because it grows by the banks of the water. The rivers, the streams, the Nachal passes by, and on the banks, these trees grow. What is the Arava? The Arava is the Mitzrayim of the plant world. It's the plant that doesn't need rain. It's the plant that has learned how to live without rain. It's the plant that learned, I can get by, I can live. We don't need rain. The entire world is davening for rain. Nothing grows, nothing lives, nothing succeeds without rain. Except Mitzrayim, and except the Arava. So we sit here on Hoshana Rabbah, and what's going to happen the day after Hoshana Rabbah? The first day of Sukkot, when it comes back, Shmini Atzeret. What is the tefillah we do on Shmini Atzeret? We mispalel for Geshem. The tefillah for the entire year for rain. When we start saying Morid HaGeshem, the tefillah for rain is Shmini Atzeret. It's no coincidence that Hoshana Rabbah is introducing Shmini Atzeret. What we're saying to the Borei Olam is as follows: Rabbeinu Shalom, I don't want to live like an Arava. I don't want to make do. I don't want to figure out how to get by. We take the Arava in our hands, this thing that symbolizes how to live without rain, how to get by without Shemayim. And we take it and we beat it on the floor. What is the kavanah when we're beating on the floor? Borei Olam, help me. I want rain. I want you to give me. I don't want to be Mitzrayim. I don't want to live off the Nile. I don't want to live without rain. I don't want to figure out how to do it on my own. I want rain. And this is the avodah of Hoshana Rabbah. We need to fill it in a little bit with more information, but the avodah in one sentence is if you beat the Arava, you can make it rain. Because the Arava represents the lack of aspiration for rain. You can't hold the Arava and dream of rain, because the Arava doesn't need rain. The Arava is doing just fine on its own. Mitzrayim is doing just fine on its own. So what's the problem? Why is it so bad? Maybe we don't need rain. Maybe everybody should move to the banks of rivers. Maybe we should all pile into Egypt. Why is it so terrible? Why should I daven for rain if I don't need it? If I could live in Egypt? What's the answer? If you could figure out how to do everything on your own, wouldn't that be the best way to live? Can you imagine being self-sufficient? I wouldn't have to spend 3 tefillot a day in shul. Why is it so important to daven for rain if you can live by the banks of a river? What would be so terrible if everything was taken care of? There's a story in the Torah that deals exactly with this topic. The story is called Migdal Bavel. Everyone knows the story of Migdal Bavel. We think we know the story. They built a tower up to Hashem to fight with God. They wanted to fight with God. They wanted to make a tower up to fight with God. They built a tower. What did Hashem do? He said, what are you doing? You're going to try and fight with me? I'm going to mix up your languages. You won't be able to communicate. Right? We learned the Midrashim. This one's going to say, pass me a hammer. And in his language, it means a screwdriver or a saw. And he would reach out for the hammer and he would touch the saw and ouch. I don't know. Depending on how good your elementary school, your kindergarten teacher was, that's how well you can visualize the problems of Migdal Bavel, what went wrong. But let's learn it again like adults. Do you think they really believed that they could fight with God? If they believed in God, they thought He was in heaven. He doesn't control the whole world. Can we conceive of an entire world actually believing that they're going to build a tower up to the heavens? Right? Does it bother you a little bit? Does it? And if that's true, what's the lesson for us? We're not so foolish. This is an eternal story. The lesson here is that don't try and get up to heaven to fight with God. That's a useful lesson. Is anyone, with all of the problems in the world, did that ever cross anyone's mind? We're going to build a tower. How high are we going to build it already? When you look at the story inside, it's a totally different story. The entire land spoke one language. And it was when they traveled from the east, Vayimotzu Bika, they found the valley. And they dwelled in this valley, and one man said to his friend, "Come, let's make bricks. And we're going to make these bricks, and we're going to use the bricks as stones, and we're going to build a tower with its head in the heavens, and we're going to make a name for ourselves." And God comes down and he sees this tower. And behold, everyone was speaking the same language. And God said, this is what they want to do? They speak one language and this is what they do? Let's see. Let's let them do what they want. I'm going to mix up their languages. Here's the story. I'm pointing out two things. I want you to one of them you should get on your own. Question number one, get on your own. They were traveling from the lands of the east, and they found the valley, and they dwelled in the valley. And one man said to his friend, "Let's build a tower." What's wrong with that story? Where did they build a tower? Where? In the valley. If you were going to build a tower up to heavens, where would you build a tower? Are you going to start in the valley? Your first 10 years of getting up to mountain level. If your goal is to get to the heavens, why wouldn't you go straight to the top of a mountain and start from there? Why start from the valley? The Torah is very careful to let us know exactly where they built this. It didn't even happen now. It happened before. They were traveling. They came to a valley. They dwelled there. And then they decided to build a tower. The Torah wants you to know that all this happens in a valley. That's question number one. Question number two is a little bit harder to detect. I'll tell you the words again. I want to see if you get it yourselves. Question number two is, they said, let nilban olevenim, let us make bricks, and we're going to use these bricks as stones, and we'll build a tower up to God. What does that mean? We're going to make bricks, and we're going to use the bricks as stones. Is anything wrong with that sentence to you? Does that bother you at all? What's the difference between a brick and a stone? Can you use a brick as a stone? The opposite makes sense. I can use stones as bricks. If I want to build a house, bricks is what you build with. I can use stones to be my bricks. But what does it mean to use bricks as stones? That's backwards. To use a brick as stone means to take bricks and scatter them in the dirt in my backyard. Right? Build a mountain out of bricks so I can go climbing on it. Stones are the natural thing, and you use them as bricks. Bricks are more evolved. You take a brick and you build a house. You don't use a brick as a stone. A stone is in the ground. The brick is in the wall. You don't take the thing out of the wall and put it in the ground. Am I clear? You understand the... So what does it mean to use bricks as stones? If you think of these two questions together, you'll have the breakthrough that allows you to understand the whole story. What does it mean to rebel against God? What does that mean? How do you go against Him? What do they say? The third point, and the third point, you connect the three dots, you'll have the answer. Nasa lanu shem. Why they build a tower? They didn't say to fight with God. What did they say? Let us build a city with a tower with its head in the heavens. V'nasa lanu shem. And we will make for ourselves a name. We will make a name for ourselves. So what are they doing?
Basically, they idol worshiping. That's what they're doing. In fact, if you like,
Idol worshiping? Who's the idol?
if they build the tower, to me, it's like they're building the tower to idol worship.
Where does it say?
It's all...
Okay, go, slow down. You're saying they build a tower for idol worship.
Yes,
What did they say? What was their reason? Their reason was what? Nase lanu shem. So if you want to say idol worship, who was the idol?
Tower was itself already an idol.
But that's not what it says.
They built the place.
I understand.
They're going to worship their own.
Okay. Fine, listen, I'm agreeing with you that it's idol worship, but I want to specify what the idol is. Here's the three questions together. Okay, you with me? You're all here? Why build a tower in a valley? Why not go to the top of the mountain? Why make bricks to use them as stones? What does that even mean? How do you use a brick as a stone? Why don't they just use stones? That would save time. And what does it mean make a name for ourselves? What's the answer? The answer is exactly what I told you about Mitzrayim. Exactly what I told you about the Rabbah. That we don't want to live in the world where Hashem takes care of us. I want to make a name for myself. I want to do it myself. I want to do it. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to a mountain. If I build it on a mountain, then what is that saying? Hashem, I'm not taking any handouts from God. I don't want a head start. Nase lanu shem. I'm going to make a name for myself, for me, my name. I'm going to go to the valley, and I can tell God, you didn't do anything. I did it all myself. And I'm not going to use stones, because then God could say, oh, yeah, you built a tower. Who gave you the materials? You know, Daddy wrote the check. Your car? What kind of your car? I bought it for you. What did they do? They went to a valley to build a tower. And they went and they made bricks. Why? They used the bricks as stones. What does that mean now? We don't want to use stones. We want to use the bricks instead of the stones. We don't want your stones, God. I want to do it myself. Nasalonu shem. I'm going to make a name for myself. So they go to a valley and they use bricks. So now they can get up to God and they can build this magnificent tower without any help, God's help. And what's the rebellion against God now? If you want to call it idol worship, fine. Who's the idol? Ourselves. We're worshiping ourselves. I'm the center of the universe. I don't need God. Kochi va'otzem yadi. My strength built this, not God. I don't need rain. I have the Nile. This is Paro. It's all the Nile. It's the same philosophy as Migdal Bavel. So now you can understand what Hashem says. What does Hashem say? Oh, I understand. You want to be God. You want to do everything yourself. So you went to a valley and you didn't use my mountain. You made bricks, you didn't use my stones. But you conveniently forgot one thing. What did you do? What did they do? What did God do? Why? Why did God change the language? Does that make sense? Why did he change the language? Play God. Put yourself in God's mind for a second. Okay? What? What are they saying? If you want to do it yourself, God's saying, do it yourself, so do it yourself. It's an unbelievable story. It's just a simple story now. Read the story, it's simple. You want to do it yourself? You want to go to Valley Bricks? Oh, but all of a sudden you have all this. Here, do it yourself. I built this on my own. So Hashem says, I'm going to mix up your languages now. Go ahead and do it on your own. So let me get back to the real question. We said in summation, in short, we said that Hashem created a world of division. And then he created rain, which is the connection. We daven for rain because we want Hashem to help us. But then there are people or plants or things that don't want rain. We want to do it ourselves. And I said that Mitzrayim is the country like this, and the Aravot are the plant like this. So we have to leave Mitzrayim and we have to break the Arava. Because when we leave Mitzrayim, what we're saying is, Hashem, help us. We leave Mitzrayim and we get what? We get man. In Mitzrayim we ate fish. Over here we eat the man. We don't want the Arava. We break the leaves, we clap it. The question we ask them is, what's so wrong with that? What was wrong with Migdal Bavel? I brought in Migdal Bavel to give you the story here where you can see it in zero in. A magnifying glass for the story. Zoom. What's wrong with, why were they wrong? What was wrong with the people from Migdal Bavel? Maybe we should do it ourselves. Is that a fair question? What's wrong with Mitzrayim? Why don't we all live by the waters? That's what I asked you. Why are we living off? If you can live off handouts, you can live off tzedakah, or you can do it yourself, which one's better? It's a mitzvah to take tzedakah? So why from God is it a mitzvah? What's the real lesson of Hoshana Rabbah? Right? Everyone hears him? He's saying he wants connection. Hashem wants us to have connection. So I'm your son, okay? I say to you, Daddy, I'm 16. I just got my permit. Buy me a Bentley. And you say, what do you say? You say, you want a Bentley? Get a job, right? Go get a job. I'll say, I get it, but I want to feel connected to you. Buy it for me. This will have a connection. You going to buy it? You like my argument? But why does Hashem, if I say, listen, I'm 16, I don't have any money. So what's your answer? Go to Mitzrayim. Get a job. Get a job. Right? That's what you would say. So what's your connection speech is a nice speech for the 16-year-old. It's not for the father. You have to do a little better. What is wrong with doing it? Don't we think you're supposed to do it yourself? Isn't the Migdal Bavel argument good? Hashem had a good point. What was Hashem's point? That you're not really doing it yourself. Mix up your languages. But maybe the whole idea was good. Maybe it was a good idea. The hint is in one little hint in the story of Migdal Bavel. What was their goal? What did they want? I don't know if you're going to get this on your own. It's so subtle. If you get it, I'm going to be very proud of you. Let's play it out together as if it was exactly like I'm describing it. They came to Hashem and they say, we want to do it ourselves. So how would you describe that dream? If you were trying to explain to me your dream, you're saying, Daddy, I know you want to help me. Let me do it myself. Okay? Let me do it myself. I'll say, why? I could make it so easy for you. What are you going to say? You said it. You said it a minute ago. What did you say? What's the benefit of doing it yourself? It's real. Right? When you do something yourself, it's real. It's mine. Imagine you have a kid who works a whole summer. A whole summer he works hard. He makes a few $100s and he spends weeks looking through the newspaper to find the car that he could buy for that price. And he buys this bashed up car, old car, paint jobs. Another kid in this class, he's a little bit crooked and he steals somebody's car. Beautiful Cadillac. They both drive around the neighborhood. Everybody oohs and ahs at the Cadillac. Everybody's in awe of the Cadillac. His car, it's like they hold their nose when he passes by. But at the end of the day, when they both come home, they park in their driveways. The guy who drives the Cadillac, he feels like $1 million when everybody's around and going, wow, what a car. But when everybody's gone and he's at home in the parking lot, how does he feel with his car? It's not his car. He knows the truth. It's only good for them. The guy who worked for his car and he made it and he bought it, that guy, how does he feel? When he's in the parking lot, in his parking spot at night, and there's no one else there, he's sitting there, he could just sit in the car. Maybe he can't afford gas this week, but he gets in the car anyway, and he polishes it every Sunday. It's his baby. He paid for it. He earned it. If you were going to earn something for yourself, if you wanted to describe why you're doing it, what would you say? Because that's real. Because that's mine. What did they say in Migdal Bavel? And this is the secret of understanding what's wrong over here. What did they say? We want to make a name for ourselves. What does that sound like? I want to make a name for myself. I want to build it myself, so I'll have a name for myself. What does that mean? Who wants a name for themselves? What does that mean, a name? The dream over here is not a kosher dream. You don't need to be known if you did it yourself. You know who needs to be known? The guy who wins the lottery. He goes, he buys a bowler and a walking stick and a Rolls Royce, and he paints his house gold and red. The guy who earned his money over generations and he worked for it, he doesn't need anyone to know anything. He doesn't need anyone to know his name. He doesn't need anyone to know what he paid for anything. We're not talking about doing it yourself over here. What are we talking about? Why do people want to make a name for themselves? So let me switch over now and tell you the real story of what I think Hoshana Rabbah is. Hashem created a world of unbelievable beauty, a world of dreams, the most magnificent, inspiring world, a world full of wonder. It's mind-blowing how unbelievable our world is. But everything's hidden, and you have to work for it. And what most people do is we start off when we're young with all those dreams, but as we get older, we give up on pursuing anything. And we make a fake life for ourselves, and all we want is to take selfies. I'm not going to be a success. I want everyone to think I'm a success. Look how happy I am. You see? Look at it. Look at me. Look at us. Look at the food I'm eating. Look at where I went. Look what I drove. Look who I hung out with. Look at the view. Look what I saw. Our entire world is a world of lies, a mask that we put on for the world. We've all given up our dreams. We've all given up our piece of the world. And we create this fake mask where we go through life telling me, look at my name. Look how I look. I made a name for myself. Look how I come across. Aren't I cool? Aren't we happy? Look what I'm wearing, look what I'm eating, look what I'm seeing, look who I'm dating, look what I'm driving. We made a name for ourselves. We're not living a real life. The entire world went into hiding. They didn't build a tower to accomplish anything. A tower doesn't do anything. What is a tower? What's the use of a tower? It's a selfie. It's a mask. It's a fake thing to say, look what I did. It's not real accomplishment. It's an image. And that's all of our lives. Everyone is sitting in a magnificent world. We're in the greatest library in history, and we're sitting reading comic books. This is Hashem's world, and we're all sitting there building towers to ourselves. And we lie and we say we're doing things. We're not saying we gave up. We're saying, look what I did. Look what I did. That's what we're saying. And we get away with this hidden thing. Everything's good. Everyone laughs. We have a social contract. You know what the social contract is? You don't call me out, I don't call you out. I look at you and I say, what's your name? Aaron. Aaron, you know what? You're the man. You are the man. And what's your job? What do you say back? You go, Rabbi, come on, Rabbi, you're the man. How can I be the man? You're the man, right? You do it. Go ahead. How can I be the man? You're the man. I'll say, no. I'm watching you. You're the man. And you go, no, Rabbi, you're the man. And you know what? We say, let's not fight this out. What are we going to do? What do we say? We're both the men. I don't call you out. You don't call me out. And we'll all go through life. This is your world. Everyone started off with dreams, and everyone has come up with a selfie to show the world. And we all look at the selfies and go, wow, where was that? How'd you do that? You're the man. You're the man. We're all the men. And that's our life. And we go through life, and we experience nothing of the world Hashem gave us. Why do we do this? Because the pain of longing and the pain of dreaming is torturous. My enemy is, you know what my enemy is? My enemy is my own dreams. That's my enemy. My enemy is everything I ever wanted, everything I really know. That's my enemy. And my only cure is the look of jealousy in your eyes. And when everyone else is looking at me, that's when my dreams go away. So we can spend our whole lives in that little world, sitting there, creating my self-contained world where everything's taken care of, where all those dreams of something bigger are gone. I'll never pray for rain. I have everything I need. My life is perfect. I have what I need. This is what I need. This is what I want. I have everything I need. It's perfect. You went through Rosh Hashanah, and we weren't able to get real. Then we went through Yom Kippur, and we weren't able to get real. Hashem says one last ditch effort, one last attempt. You know what we do on Hoshana Rabbah? We take the Arava and we peel off all of its lies. We beat the Arava on the ground. Oh, you can do it yourself? You're happy with your life? You don't need your dreams? Dreams, right? We laugh at dreams, right? You want to practice laugh? Everyone knows the laugh at dreams. There's a special kind of laugh you use to laugh at dreams. I have a very, if I'm going to rip off masks, if you're going to beat the Arava, this is the line to beat the Arava. You can measure a person's life by the sound of his laughter. There's a laughter when you're a dreamer, it's called the giggle. Little children giggle. They giggle with excitement. The day that you gave up your dreams, the day that you chose to hide, you never giggle again. People who take shortcuts and have lies cannot giggle. They're not innocent enough to giggle. You switch the giggle then to that cynical, sarcastic laugh. It goes to, I'm like, I can't, whatever. It's not my thing, but somebody can do it better. You know the two laughs. And we know the day we changed. There was one day when the giggle is the sound of reality. The giggle is the sound of praying for rain. The child wakes up in the morning, he can't wait to see what Hashem is going to shower him with. And then there's one day where we cross over, and now we have that cynical little sneer. What are you doing? You going to school? You going to yeshiva? You going to work? What are you doing? Come chill with me. Oh my God, look at you. What are you doing with yourself? How come you didn't give up? Get real. Come chill. That laughter. So Hoshana Rabbah is when we peel off, we take that self-sufficiency. I don't need anything. I love my life. And you beat it on the ground. Because that's your last chance for simcha. You can't fulfill a dream if you don't have the dream. Is it a chesed to sit there and let the person show off their selfies and say, wow? Is that a chesed? When I smile at your selfie and I say how great your life must be, am I doing a chesed? What am I doing? I'm shouting down your dreams. I'm joining you. I'm your teammate in your self-destruction. I'm Dr. Kevorkian. That's who I am. It's an assisted suicide. You asked me to help you and I'm helping. Is that a reason to help somebody? Are you a friend? The avodah, the last chance is to take the aravot. The aravot that say, what does the arava say? I don't need anything. I can do it myself. I have everything I want. Look at my life. This is the arava today. Look at my life. I'm perfect. I don't need rain. I don't need anything. Life is perfect. And you take the arava and you beat it and you beat it. And you beat the arava till all the lies are gone. And what do you say? What are the words that somebody says? I want you to figure this out for yourself. What are the words that you say? How do I know that the lies were peeled away. How do I know? What's the word the person says? A minute ago, the guy is saying, it's all great, I'm so happy, I love my life, everything is perfect. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Look what I'm driving, look at my life. And then we sit and we take that rough and we bang it. We knock off all the leaves. Incidentally, I'll tell you a cute thing just to stick in here, because I compared this story to Migdal Bavel. Migdal Bavel, how did Hashem pull away all their lies? He mixed up their languages. Oh, you're doing yourself here? Mixed up the languages. They couldn't communicate anymore. What's the Aravah? We said that the Hadassim are the eyes, right? You know the Midrash? Hashem, save me. What's the opposite of save me? I'm good. And that's the war of the world. I'm good or save me. It's all cool. Stop. It's good. I'm the man. No, save me. And everyone has both of those voices. Your Yetzer Tov is saying, help, I want to scream, save me. Hashem, give me rain. Rain represents Hoshana. Hashem, save me. The Rabbah represents, I'm good, don't worry. I'll take care of myself. I got it all covered. All my ducks are in a row. Everything's the way it should be. If you beat the Rabbah, you knock off all the leaves. There's nothing left. Then you scream, save me. And this is the avoda of the day. The last chance to get into the dreams of the world that Hashem gave you. Hashem gave us the most magnificent world, and there's no end to what He can do for us. It's a world, let me tell you something. In the world of Aravot, how does that world look? What's it like for the person who convinced the whole world how happy they are? So they don't hear the voice, they don't have to deal with their dreams. It's a dry, empty world. This is why Paro, the land of Mitzrayim, they don't know how to deal with dreams. Paro has dreams and nobody can translate his dreams. They only know how to silence dreams in Mitzrayim. His magicians can't do anything. The Jewish boy shows up from jail and he knows dreams and his snakes eat their snakes. He lives in the world where everything is larger than this world because he lives in the world of rain. Mitzrayim is a world with no fulfillment of dreams, no pisron chamlomot. Paro lives this dry, empty life. A world with the Ya'ar overflows, clockwork. And we live in a world of longing and of dreams. Yosef is the poter chalomot. Let me end with, I always do this, I shouldn't do this. You're supposed to leave it with this patch. But you never want to leave a speech with everybody feeling like you just smacked them. I'm smacking myself, I'm talking to myself, everybody knows that we all have the same issues. Grew up in the same world, we live in the same country, we live in the same time, we live in the world that has personified the hiding places. Everybody has noise-canceling headphones. The noise that the noise-canceling headphones are canceling is reality. That's what they're canceling. If you can spend your whole life with headphones, music blaring in your ears, you know what you'll never hear? Your dreams. And I can't take it off until I'm ready, till I fall asleep. Maybe even some people, I've seen people who leave it on the whole night. Because you can't even dream at night. So the one side is to leave it over here. I talked for a long time. I want you to have the nugget I want to leave you with. And then I'll say something positive just to put a different spin on having your pulling off a mask. Pulling off a mask is very painful. The 10-second recap of everything we said is that basically we all start off giggling. And then we start cynically sneering. And the way we get through life is that we say we're fine. I don't need anything. That's the Arava. I don't need anything. I got everything taken care of. I got my stream. And our job is to take that Arava and knock off every single leaf it has. We do it with our hands, but you got to do it with your hearts. You got to get to that place tomorrow morning when you're sitting there doing Hoshanot. You have to get to the place where you can mamish say, Hashem, save me. I don't have it all worked out. That's a hard place to get, because to get there you have to admit that everything's not good. And for 1 minute, once you admitted it, before you say save me, you'll feel fear, crazy fear. I admitted something, that I don't have it, and it's not here yet. But that's how it works. When you admit it, then you'll scream Hoshana. You can't scream Hoshana until you feel the lack. You can say the words, but that doesn't work. You have to say it. You have to feel it. And you can only feel it if you sit. The avoda of Hoshana Rabbah is to sit down before you go to shul and remember every single thing that you really want, all the things you refuse to admit. I know when we daven, we say, I want a new car, I want a new house. That's not really what you want. You want your mother to be happy, right? You want your father to be proud again. All his friends told you how cool he was when he was young, and then you just see a broken old guy. Right? So say to Hashem, I want my father to walk around with a little pride. Right? I want my sister to finally find a shidduch. Everyone says the same stories, right? I want... Right? I want my neighbor to have a child. Everybody wants the same things. We all go through the same things. I'm not speaking, by the way. I just realized someone might think I'm talking about my parents. My parents, Baruch Hashem, are fine. My mother's happy. My father's proud. I'm saying, but this is stuff that human beings, everyone struggles with. Right? Find the real things and sit in it until you scream help. And that's when all the Yeshuot come. Hashem is waiting to make it rain. There's more water in this world than anything else. It's all ready to come down. I'll just tell you the extra thing. Something very, very powerful about longing. Going through this tsar is what builds your personality. The Arava, it says it has no tam and no reach. Right? The four species, one of them has taste and smell. One of them has smell and no taste. One has taste and no smell. The Arava has neither. What does it mean, why does the Arava have no taste and no smell? Because if your whole life is numb, is a lie, and you never feel the pain, the longing, then you don't develop any personality. Smell and taste comes from longing. A person who longs, who desires, who's waiting and dreaming and checking off a calendar for months and years, getting closer, that longing builds a personality, a character. People who long become something, they feel. Tsar builds you. If you avoid all tsar and you avoid anything that hurts you, you're just going to be a numb thing. That's why everyone's the same. Everyone's this faceless, emotionless thing. We borrow our lines from everything in the culture. We don't have our own lines. We all have cute, sharp lines. It's so awkward. Lines that we heard 400 times before. Nobody has their own voice because we all have no tam and reach. Because if you don't, longing creates personality. It's not bad to wait for rain. Waiting for rain makes you. In the Mishkan, you had someone called Bezalel. Bezalel was the artist who built the whole Mishkan. Moshe Rabbeinu had no idea how to do it. Bezalel could do it. So Moshe says to Bezalel, how do you do it? It must be Betzel Kel Hayita. Your name is Bezalel. It must be that you live in the shadow of God. Betzel, what does that mean, the shadow of God? Don't we want to be in the light of God? Don't we want the Ur? The shadow means we live in the hiddenness of Hashem. Moshe sees Bezalel's talent. He sees what an artist he is and how deep he is. And you know what he says? Wow, you must live in pain. You must have had a hard life. You must live in the shadow of Hashem, because there's no way you could have gotten so deep and so talented and so smart without Tsar. So I'm telling you 2 reasons to get rid of the mask. One reason to get rid of your mask is you can't live numb forever. You'll never fulfill your dreams unless you admit to your dreams. And if you're worried that that's a scary process to be longing and not have it, the answer is no. That's where you build yourself. That is the greatest experience. Bezalel built the whole Mishkan because he lived in the darkness. His grandfather was killed by the Egel, Chor. He lived in Sar. He lived Betzel Kel. And that's the mitzvah of Sukkot. What kind of mitzvah is Sukkot? We want it to be more shade than light. Silta muruba mechamta. You want more? Don't we want light? Isn't the whole thing of Judaism we want to experience Hashem? Why? A sukkah is only kosher when what? When it's more shade than light. Because this is life. Of course the goal is light. Everybody wants light. Light is our dreams. But the only way to get to the light is to live in the shade. The only way to get to your dreams is to live with that longing. You sit one last day tomorrow in the sukkah, and you sit and you look at the roof. And when you look at the roof, you think about all the things that you want that you don't have yet, and how exciting it's going to be to get there. That's Yiddishkeit. The real sukkah is the Mishkan, is the Ananei HaKavod, the clouds of glory. The Mishkan was a traveling temple, because holiness in Judaism is traveling. It's the journey. Of course our goal is to get to the light. Of course our goal is to fulfill all the dreams. But the journey to get there is one that lives in the shade. To live in the world where your dreams didn't come true yet. And how well you do that will determine if you get your dreams. If you become an Rabbah and you learn to say, whatever, or it's all good. I got all my ducks in a row. I don't need your help. Then you'll never get anywhere. You'll stay with a fake painted on smile. You'll make a name for yourself, but you don't have anything. May we all be zocheh to find the strength to embrace the true voice in our minds. And as soon as we say those magical words, Hoshana, Hashem, save me, I'm not happy. I'm not living what I want. This is not me. There's a real me. Hoshana, Hashem will make it rain. He's waiting to make it rain, but nobody's asking for it. We're all building towers of Babel, saying we can do it ourselves. May we be zoichet to find that strength. May Hashem make it rain like never before. May every one of us be bathed by the purity of Hashem's waters. And may all of Kol Nishalis Libchem come true. May Hashem deliver everything speedily, easily, fully. B'shalom.